biggest misconception most people have is thinking that an easy pattern is actually easy, but not for beginning sewists. And we get it. Does this ever happen to you? You go to any fabric store and they'll send you to the easy pattern section. Most of those bigger stores let sewists fall into this trap. But let me ask you, does every sewist who picks up an easy pattern finish the project without any issues? No. In fact, you might be setting yourself up for disaster if you continue to fall into the easy pattern trap. So how do you truly get a quick and easy pattern for you? Let me tell you what to look for. Actually, Kathy's gonna tell us what to look for.
Here's my best piece of advice, is to look for things that have minimal amounts of pieces or fabrics. Look for things where the pieces may be the same size. Look for items that do not have binding. What is that? We're going to show you some samples of that. So let's just look at this first sample. This is a very simple placemat. 2 pieces of fabric, easy to sew.
Yeah, there's no extra seams or anything, right? But hold on.
And no binding.
Kathy, I don't use placemats. Ugh, who uses placemats anymore?
We hear this all the time. People will come in and they're saying, we're beginners. We haven't sewn before. What will you suggest that we make? And so we start to make all these suggestions like, oh, these placemats are awesome. This is a baby burp cloth.
Yes, these are actually our designs.
That really we can do in about 12 minutes. We have some really simple patterns and they're like, you know what? I don't use placemats. Aprons? Oh, I don't wear aprons. And I really just want to say, this is going to teach you how to be more skillful and that you can take those skills then and apply them to other things that you like. But you have to look at starting at the beginning.
Yes, I think sometimes the thing or the project that you are maybe not interested in is exactly the project that you should do. Oh, do I need to make a pillowcase? No, I have a bunch of pillowcases. But the things that a pillowcase actually shows you how to do, the things that a simple placemat with a gentle curve shows you how to do, is something that you can transfer into your first beginner, right? This says it's a beginner project, to your beginner garment, because you've done that gentle curve, you've practiced it on a placemat, and now you're ready to apply it to another project. So Kathy, can we talk about this Fast and Fun book? Because I think there are definitely fun projects in here, but sometimes fast is like, who is it fast for, right? And I was looking through here and I love all of the projects. And we actually have a pattern that's really similar to this, but can you tell me, talk to me about this project, because there's something that right off the bat, I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look like it's gonna be that fast.
Well, this part, and you're right, we do have a pattern that's very similar to this in a variety of sizes. The difference is that our pattern just uses a number of borders around it instead of all this separate piecing that is here on the bottom.
What's hard about this?
Well, what's hard about that is that all of this has to come out to the correct size so it will actually fit into this, and that makes it not so fast, not so easy, and not a beginner project. So that I would look at how we could modify that to make it so it was actually a beginner project. So I don't think it's probably as fast as what we want to think, just because of those pieces that are on there. And I agree. I think there's loads of really cute things in this book. Actually, this one's not a bad one because it almost has all the pieces that are the same size. We've talked about that a whole bunch, about using things that have not very many pieces and that they are pretty much all the same size. And we only, in this block, only have 2 pieces that are bigger. This, I agree with them wholeheartedly. It's a beginner project. It would be fast and fun.
Cool.
And it looks awesome with their color choices.
Yeah, I really do love that.
Same with this one. That actually is this one. So that, let's move on. This one would, all of these blocks end up being the same size. So that would be pretty much fast and fun.
Okay.
And for a beginner. So that you might want to just ask someone who actually has knowledge of sewing and quilting.
You can go into stores and ask people for advice. If you go into a store like Smile Spinners, we'll help you.
That's
for sure.
right. You have to make sure that you're talking to people who really know how to sew and quilt.
True.
Because oftentimes a person will say, yeah, it says it's a beginner quilt, and they don't really know because...
Or it's easy for us, right?
Yes.
We have a lot of experience, but just because it's easy for us doesn't mean that it would be easy
See,
for
now
you.
I don't know if I should talk about this, but their fabric choices make it so this isn't so easy.
Oh, yeah.
Because
we've
they
used a
have
plaid.
lots of plaids in there, and plaids can get really ugly when we're putting them together in a quilt. So to make this quilt easier, I wouldn't have chosen a plaid.
Okay.
So that's kind of cute, and that is pretty simple.
Until we get to the applique
Until we get to
turtles.
the applique turtles,
This is like a little bit
you
harder,
wanna
but
know
our stripes
what?
are good.
we have a class for that.
We do. We have a class about applique. You can come
How to
join us.
applique, and they're just pretty simple lines.
Sure.
I don't think they would be too hard to do.
Okay.
So that would be cute. So there are a number of things in here that are fast and fun, but your
I
fabric
think-
choices and lots of little pieces are what makes it so it's difficult.
And I think too, to your point, to start from the beginning of the book where truly the easy patterns are, right? Take, for instance, this book about making bags, right? You could easily flip through here and find a bag. Ooh, this one is really pretty. Hold on, we're gonna show you. This bag is really pretty. I love that style. I've never sewn before. I'm gonna start here.
No, Jessica,
please don't.
do it.
Please don't.
We don't like to see grown women cry.
And I probably would too. Zippers, hardware, who knew it, right? But if you start at the beginning of the beginning handbag book, you'll start off with some easy, simple projects that will build your skill. It may not be exactly the project that you want to make, but remember, the point of easy projects is to build your skills so that by the time you get to the bag that's in the beginner book, that's a little bit more of an advanced beginner project, you actually understand some of the jargon. You've done actually some sewing before. Maybe you've, understand what it's like to use some of the techniques that you'll use in this more complicated project. And I think that is the most important part of analyzing a project that's easy and not falling into that, just because it says easy or just because it says beginner sort of trap. So do you want to keep buying the easy project pattern that isn't easy? Or do you want to find an easy project that you will be able to tackle today? If the answer is yes, click the link below in the description to grab a free pattern from us. Actually, from you, because you design all the patterns. So click below.